Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to LEGO Space. Back with another update. So I am to the point where I am just below those gray plates that I showed you guys that I had everything built on. And this is what was underneath all of those gray plates. So once again, a lot more support structure that wasn't originally in the plans. I got really good pictures of this. You can see the front half of the middle section is built one plate higher than the rear section of this, because if you guys have built this before, or if you don't know, each section is basically built into two sections, and this one's split right down the middle. So you build this section first, and then you build this section, put them together, start building your decks. So apparently, just with how things worked, I had ended up doing this, the rear section of the middle section, one plate lower than this section. So stuff like that I really have to pay attention to. I did go around, take pictures of all this really well, because this is going to be the stuff that's going to be, I'm going to have to recreate a lot of this from scratch. I'm not going to be able to save this exact thing that I have going on here. Just making sure I take pictures of where I have gaps and stuff, because there's actually 2x4 bricks that sit there. So there's a reason some of this stuff is a little bit lower, and you guys can kind of see it there. And then same with this whole middle section here, that has to be the same height as this area here. So all that stuff I made sure to take pictures of really, really well and document that, because this is all stuff I'm going to have to recreate, because the mock is going to put a lot of weird, interesting stuff down in there. And I'm going to have to kind of re-engineer how I'm supporting stuff on that and kind of building it back up to this area. Once I get these areas figured out and built in, then everything I have saved will just go slapped right on, just be slapped right on top. Really nice. And I did save as much as I possibly could in this tub here. So this tub it looks like a mess, but it is actually somewhat organized, and it's split right down the middle right here. So everything from these gray plates this way is everything that I had built on the top of the front half, and then everything from this section on this way is everything that I had built onto the back half. And I just have to remember which side is which, take really good care with moving this around and not dropping it and mixing up all the parts. I even kind of halfway saved some of the floors. I saved all the floors, but just like their overall structure and how they're built onto each other was different. So like a lot of that I had to save in big chunks, pretty much, like carefully take apart, put it back together once it was apart. So that's all stuff that has to stay really segregated right there, so I know what's on the front half, what's on the back half. And then it's basically after I rebuild from the mock and get to the upper point of this, then I'll just have to figure out how to resupport all that structure, and I have to get it to these parameters on each side, and then I can do the easier part of the rebuild process. I'm going to try to work a little bit quicker on this section, just so that way some of this is fresh in my memory, and I do have the photos just in case if I can't remember how something was. I will have those for reference, but it'd be a lot easier for me if I don't have to stop my music, look at my phone for a little bit, and start the music back up, and stuff like that, or I could just play on my computer. But yeah, guys. So this is going to be the last update as far as the teardown goes. You guys can see. I'll show you right now while I'm kind of in that area. You guys can kind of see the back wall of what I have built in this area here. That actually did make it really nice and easy for me to kind of build some of this structure on. I actually had something there in the original build. None of that is there. That's just a hole that basically you can see all the way through up to the boiler back walls way up there. So that I'm going to try to save as much of that I can. I do want to rebuild these back walls. I have the see-through gates to put on there, and I kind of want to make them a little bit more better. I just I have to keep in mind that I can't have anything any lower than these because the motors protrude into this and they literally go right underneath these walkways there. So I do have to stay within certain areas, and I just kind of try to take those walls out in complete sections and save a lot of that work. Of course, I will be taking pictures of all that. So, but yeah, guys, we're getting there. This is actually a pretty hard section. I kind of forgot how much I changed and how much I built up into this section, and it was kind of a surprise when I started tearing into it. And I was like, well, shoot, I forgot that I did all that stuff, and it's kind of necessary for supporting a lot of the structure because of how I have the top of the decks are all different now. So basically, this section, I completely rebuilt this section other than some of the, the outside, and, did build all that. But the majority of this, I did not work off of the instructions other than looking at the instructions and looking at what I wanted to change. So that's where it gets a little hard for me now, just trying to remember everything I did. So pictures are a must at this point of this section. But yeah, definitely kind of forgot about all that. So this middle section, which I thought was going to be the easier section, turned out to be one of the more harder sections. And it's gonna be a challenge. So just getting it all back together, especially after I'll feel better after I get the mock all built down in there, and I can start to build some of this back up and see what my areas were. So yeah, guys. You guys can see I'm kind of built off of a structure that goes way down all the way to the bottom of the ship, right in there, and that does not want to focus. I wish I could get my cameras in this area where I could focus that. But you guys can kind of see how that goes down in there. Yes, there's a loose part in there that fell off when I was taking it apart. So yeah, I got to recreate a lot of that once the wheels are in there, because a lot of my free space in here to mess around with is going to go away. So I have to be kind of clever with how I build things back up and kind of get it back to this point. So there's another update of my wonderful overbuilding and the consequences that I now have with dealing with that and trying to recreate something like that. And yeah, guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this update, and until next time, take care.